Hey everybody! Well, this week's episode is all about showers. And I'm not talking about the kind that come from the sky. We are in the middle of all of our summer projects here at Pufferfishvillas. And this week we've got to get a couple showers fixed up. Well, actually, one shower fixed and one new shower. So let's get right to it. We're Douglas and Esperanza, and we decided to leave our lives in the U.S., sell almost everything we own, and move to Baja California Sur, where we decided to start a resort in the magical town of Loreto, Mexico. Please come with us to follow our journey and live before you die. So a couple weeks ago, I told you guys about a problem we had with the showers, and we were going to replace the shower valves. Okay, well, I've got started on that project today. So we'll go down here between the two villas and I'll show you what I'm gonna do. So I originally was gonna break out the tile, try to take those shower valves out through the front, and I realized this is a much better way to do it, and that's from the back side. This is on an outside wall, and I wanted to see if I could break through the cinder block and get to the valve from the back side, and then I can replace it without doing anything to the tile. In fact, almost no impact inside. And looking good. We've got the shower valve, all the pipes exposed. There's a bunch of kind of loose mortar that they put in here around it to hold it. I'm gonna break that out very carefully so I hopefully don't break any tiles. And then be ready to replace the shower valve with the new one, and we'll be good to go. I'm excited this is working out. All right, I'm gonna get to breaking this out I did this with a jackhammer because the jackhammer just makes very quick work of this kind of thing, breaking through cinder block. But if I use a jackhammer here, we're risking breaking the tiles, which are right on the other side of this. So I'm not going to jackhammer this. I'm going to do this by hand. I got this hammered out here using just a hammer and a screwdriver, so I could go really slow and get this out of here. And I've got the pipes all exposed here so I can get to them to connect. This one possibly I might have to go down, or I might have to go this way a little bit, depending on if the new valve is bigger. And I've got a little connection here, so I'll probably have to cut this one here and make a new corner, but these ones I should be able to just patch into. So let's go inside and see if I damaged any tile. I have not been in there. I just got done with this. It's hot out here too. It's gonna be 100 today. So, trying to get stuff done early, but it's still probably 90 right now. Okay, let me get my fingerprint here in the door. Unlocked. These doors are awesome. They are Safely is the name of the door, lock. And they do key fobs, they do codes, they do fingerprints, and they do keys. So you've got tons of options. You can program them remotely over the internet. They're fantastic for rentals. Love them. And if you want to buy one of those, go to our Amazon link down below, and it goes right to our store, and they're on there because that's where we got them. All right, let's see. Oh, yes. It looks like there might have been something here, but I think maybe just a little tiny bit of grout fell out there. No tiles cracked, no tiles broken. Now I can get this valve out of here, and I should be able to put a new valve in, and this will be super easy compared to breaking out all this tile. And I only made a little tiny bit of a mess in here, which is good because this thing was already clean. All right, I'm gonna go back out, get the new valves, and see how they're gonna fit in there. I got the new valve down here. We're gonna take a look. Oh, it's gonna be easy fix. Just have to plug the bottom, which goes out to the tub filler if you have a tub. Actually, this is up. If you have a tub filler, this will sit right in where that valve went. One thing I have to do, which was a problem with this other valve, is this other valve is too far back. Needs to be farther forward. This also needs to be farther forward than that valve. And so I need to move these pipes here farther that way. So this pipe will be pretty easy. I'll chip out a little bit more here, and I'll chip out, make sure I'm out here. These pipes I can heat up and bend in so that they'll bend in a little bit. This pipe, I don't know if I have enough room. I will try. I should be able, because this one's at a 90, I should be able to heat this one and bend it right here to bend it in that way. And that will let all of these pipes get closer to the wall so that the new valve will be closer to the surface of the tile, which was a big problem in the beginning with this valve. So got a little more work to do here, and then we'll cut this old valve out and start working on the new valve. There's a valve. I couldn't get unscrewed to get this valve out. Totally crappy design. I have no way to unscrew this, and it's going to get bound up over time. So crappy design. All right. Looks good. Now I need to look and see if I need any parts, because I got to go to the store to get the metal for the gate. All the threaded pieces need to go on first, and then we'll do the glued slip joints. So I made some progress out here. I got the fittings on the valve here, and it looks like I'll be able to get all the pipes now into place. The one problem I have is this fitting. So in the original valve, which I've got over here somewhere, here it is. In the original valve, this is a female fitting on the valve. So there's male fittings going into a female fitting. And this valve has male fittings on the valve. So you need female fittings to connect to them. And the problem is a male fitting is much shorter than the female. See the female fitting underneath there? It's almost twice as long as this is the male fitting, because it screws into here, and this is a female fitting which screws over this. So the problem is right now with this fitting, it pushes it too far over, and I can't really get this lined up. So I would have to break out this next side of this concrete block, which I might have to do. I'm not sure, but that is a lot more work and a lot more danger of breaking this tile, which is right here. So I think first what I'm going to do is go get a 90-degree with a threaded end on it, female end, and that'll let me screw the 90-degree directly to here, which then the 90-degree will come out right about here, and that'll give me the room I need. The problem with that is plastic fittings screwing onto metal, this is brass, is always a hard connection to keep from leaking, because the fittings, you put a lot of tape on them. I've tried the plumber's not putty, but goop that they have, all those different things. I've tried them, and they all tend to leak at some point. And especially where it's hard is where you're taking a 90-degree and you turn it on, and you've got to stop with the 90-degree going down. So you've got a full rotation every time. You either have to go one more rotation or you have to stop. And the problem is the the correct tightness might be halfway through that rotation, but then the 90 would be pointing up. Luckily, I can see this from behind, so if it's leaking, I can fix it. But the problem also is, so you have to screw these fittings on first before you glue everything up. Then once you glue everything up, you put on the water, turn on the water. If the water leaks, now you have to cut this fitting out because there's no way to unscrew it when it's glued on here. So you have to keep cutting the pipe back more and more, and I run the danger that I'm gonna have to cut this wall out farther down if I have to redo this more than once. So to keep the hole as small as possible, I would rather this not leak and it works the first time. So still waiting for 8 o'clock so the store will be open, and then I can get the stuff I need for the gate, and I can get this fitting for this, and we'll see if I can get it working. Good morning, everybody. Well, it's time to get back to working on the shower valve in villa number 1. So I'm gonna try to wrap that up this morning and get another big job off the list, because that and the gate, which I finished yesterday down here, are the two really big things I had on my list, and all the rest of the stuff is pretty much small stuff, except putting a new battery in the moat. But I'm talking about projects we want to get done before our next guests arrive. So we have about 3 weeks left with no guests here at Pufferfish Villas until we start our fall season, our next 24-25 season, and we are already booked over 50% for that season. So we're going to have a lot of people here, and we want to get everything 100% perfect before people start showing up. I got the new 90-degree threaded coupling that I bought on here, which gives me enough room to get this valve, you can see, right lined up with the center of the opening. So that's good. And I got these pipes all cut. So this pipe has a lot of play back and forth. Should be no problem to get it over there. This pipe has play back and forth, but it doesn't have any play down because this part of concrete's here. And I cannot get it hooked up to this valve. So I've got to break out a section of concrete right here, and that'll allow me to bring this down some. So I taped them all up so I don't get chunks of concrete in there that then will get into the valve and clog it up. Try to do this by hand and not break the tile, because that would be bad. Okay, I got this chipped out and it's looking good. Now I'm going to have to bend this pipe, because you can see this pipe has got a little elbow fitting back in there because it comes up from below and it comes over. And see how this is angled? If I just push it in there, force it in there and glue it, this will not seal and this will leak because it's not lined up. So we're going to get a heat gun. We're going to heat this pipe right here, and we're going to put a little S-bend in it where it comes down and then comes over straight, and that will line it up, and then we'll be able to get it in and glue it up and it won't leak. Once these things go, and yeah, there it is. Okay, so now I don't want to restrict the water flow, so let me get this. So I'm gonna squeeze it in here so I can get the angle right. And now I have to work on fixing this where it claps down a little bit. Get this thing bent over so it goes down, and we'll go straight in now. Now we'll get it all glued up. And here is the inside. I think we got enough protrusion on there to make it work. I just turned on the water. I looked outside. I didn't see any apparent leaks. There still may just be air in this. So let's go to cold, and then to mix, and then to hot. Get good flow on the hot, so I didn't crush the pipe too much in that bend I made. And we'll get the hot with air, hot water, cold water. Okay, that's looking really good. And it fits right in there. Now, this tile did come out a little tiny bit, and all the grout broke out of this edge and that edge, but it just barely came out like a millimeter. I'm just gonna be able to regrout it, and I think it'll be perfect. Won't have to do anything to it. Luckily, it didn't break. All right, let's go outside and make sure there's no leaks on the backside of the valve. And it is hot in here. I don't have a thermometer in here, but inside the villa here, it must be 120 degrees. I mean, it is hot. I was just sweating, and it feels super cool when I go outside, and it's about 95 outside, so it must be really hot in there. All right. Go down the side of the villa here. All right, let's see. Looking good. Don't see any leaks anywhere. This fitting here that I was concerned about. Oops, I had that in there to hold it. Now it's tight. This fitting here that I was concerned about, because you can only tighten this like an entire rotation every time. But I use this really high-end Teflon tape. I didn't use the same white stuff they usually get. This is called Blue Monster PFT tape. And this stuff I've had better luck with than just the white stuff. And I use 5 wraps around each fitting, especially with the plastic. The metal to metal connections are usually not too bad, but the plastic to metal connections are usually the hard ones that leak. But got no leaks in any of my connections. All good. And you can see here I have a shut off right back here for the villa number 1. This is the back. And then villa number 2 has a shut off over there. And that makes it easy. And then I have this screen, kind of a fence that I put up here. And then that blocks off the front of house from the back of house. And now I'm in the maintenance corridor behind the villas, and this is where all the magic happens. Okay, I'm gonna go back around and clean up, and then I'll have to see how I feel, what I'm gonna do the rest of the day, because it's still pretty early. It's kind of hot, but it's overcast, so that's nice. So I can probably get some more outside stuff done here, and get a little more work knocked off the list. But this is the big one. Now I have some more steps. I'm gonna have to regrout that low grout line in there, which isn't a very big deal. And I have grout left over. I have everything left over. And then I'm gonna have to build a door out here. Ugh. I wanted to show you the final result of the door that I built here. So there we have the shower valve in the wall, and this is the door that I built. And I just wanted to do something simple out of parts that I had, and I wanted it to be rainproof, so I made this little overhang that'll kind of keep the rain out of there. This still needs to be painted, but we're going to do a bunch of outdoor touch-up paint here, so I didn't paint it yet. And this closes up. Let me show you here. I didn't want to just make it so it was easy to open it. So this way it's more of a permanent thing, screwed closed, and it makes a nice little door and perfect access to work on the shower when we need to. One more big project done off our summer projects list. So when people come back from the beach, they come through this door right here. They come up around and they have sand on their feet. And I've noticed this because I clean the patio when we have guests every single day. Not so much between guests. You can see we haven't had guests in a while, so there's no real reason to go clean this thing every day. And so I haven't been, but it's getting pretty dirty. We'll have to definitely do a deep cleaning before guests get here. So guests have said, why don't you put a wash, like a foot wash, so that people can wash off their feet after they come back from the beach? So that's what we're going to do today. Now, we thought of two different options. One option would be put a foot wash down in here somewhere, so when people come right through the gate, they can rinse off their feet. And that would be the best for me because it would keep sandy footprints from getting over the concrete. But it's not the best scenario, and we wanted to go ahead and put in a shower at the same time so that if people want to shower before they go in the pool, after they get out of the pool, we will have a shower here. So that's not a great location for a shower because it's kind of down by the door, and I just don't think people would use it much as a shower. So we are going to put a shower and foot wash right here on this post, and this is sloped, so the water will go right down the flower bed. That's good, and it gives us a great place. We also have water right back here in this corner so that we can bring it up, and then we'll go over the along the cover here and then down to the shower and the foot wash. So it's a pretty convenient location, and this would have been a problem because there's no pressurized water over there. In fact, there's no water over there except sprinkler water, which only goes on when the sprinklers are on. So it's not a good location. It would take a lot to get water over there. I got this dug out before the sun gets over here because working in the sun in this, even worse. I'm gonna take my hat off. That'll help me cool down a little bit. All right, got the ditch dug all the way over from where I'm going to tap in. I'll show you that. So right here is where it's going to come up the wall to up above. This is a ditch. It was pretty easy to dig because the main water line, and there's a sprinkler line down in here. We go along here. There's another sprinkler line right here that comes out of it. So now there's 3 lines running down here. You can see they run down, and then we get back here, back of the villas. So we have a bunch of lines running down here. We actually have the main water line, 2 sprinkler lines. This is the drain line for the kitchen. This is hot and cold for the kitchen. You see the cold comes up here to this spigot I have here. So I'm going to tap from the cold right there because this is water supply, but water supply is horrible here. During the day, especially during the afternoon, 0 water pressure. No water comes out at all. Night, decent water pressure, but most of the time, almost nothing. So you can't use directly from the city water. If you do, you're going to not have water a lot of the time. You have to have a cistern and a pressurized system. And so this is the only always pressurized line. The other lines are sprinkler lines. They only get pressurized when you're running the sprinklers. One other thing, I had also thought about bringing the line up onto the top of this wall and then going all the way along the wall, and then when I get over here I'd already be up there and I could come up over the top of this fence, this cover, and then down. The problem there, I would paint the line in that case, because if you just leave PVC out there, it'll get really brittle. But the problem is I'm gonna have so much line, it's gonna be painted dark, and that will get to almost boiling in the sun. And then somebody's gonna come up here, go to turn on the water, and they're gonna get burned because this is gonna be boiling hot water in that tube. So we don't wanna do that. Keep the line underground to here, bring it right up the wall. We're gonna keep it underneath the cover, so it's shaded mostly along here. And that way the water won't get blistering hot where it becomes a safety hazard to use this thing during the summer. This is how I'm gonna do the top shower part, and the valve will be there for it, and then the foot wash will be down here with the valve right there. All right, well, I worked on this yesterday and got it all finished up except for the painting. And here we have the foot wash and the top shower, and got a nice shower here. I didn't want to put it too high so that shorter people could reach the handle. So the head is a little low for some people. I mean, it'd be fine for me. If you're a little high, you might have to duck your head down, but this is just a shower for if you want to shower before getting in the pool and all that. So no worries there. And then we have a foot wash station, and this was a request from several of our guests that when they come back from the beach, and then all your sand just goes right off in the flower bed. That's all working great. We were working this morning after we got ready for our guest that's coming today at 4 o'clock. We got everything cleaned up, which was a big job because we haven't cleaned up in a long time because we haven't had a guest in like 4 weeks. So
lots of dust.
We cleaned everything up. Everything is beautiful and perfect. Then we decided to do another couple projects, which is to paint the shower and foot wash pipe, and also to stain these awesome posts that we have, and they look so much better. They look so good. We put an oil on them, and now we are super hot. It is 97 degrees. Do it.
Let's do it. You coming?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Oh my gosh. So much better. Oh my gosh. That is the best way to cool down.
Yeah, we were getting a little overheated, so
Oh yeah.
it is nice.
Now time to get water with a lot of electrolytes in it.
Not the pool water.
No, not the pool water. Chlorine. No.
All right, we're gonna sign off. We're gonna cool off, and then we're gonna clean up for our guests because we still have a mess up there. But we'll get it cleaned up, and it'll be awesome. And here is how it all turned out. Here is the final shower, all painted up and nice and still working perfectly. And the foot wash station down here to wash off your feet. Rinses all right off into the flower bed just like we wanted it to. So another project done, and we actually had some guests that booked at the last minute, and they used the foot wash. They came back from the beach and used the foot wash, so it's already been used by some guests. So it's awesome. All right, well, thank you everybody for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and never forget to live before you die.